Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the road to the NHC. We're going to get to work and take another step closer to Las Vegas, Nevada. We're going to break down races from Gulfstream Park, Belmont at Aqueduct, and Monmouth Park. It's not just about picking winners. It's finding the best value, the horses that give you your best bang for your buck. Of course, Vegas isn't going to wait for us. So I've got two seats, David. Of course, my partner, 2022 NHC Champ David Harrison. How are you, brother?
Good. How you doing, Mr. McKeever? It's been a couple of weeks. We had a little bit of a break last week, but I'm doing well. Good. Getting ready. Finally got some warm weather up here in Western New York. We've got the Saratoga right around the corner, so I'm doing good.
Good. Yeah. Admittedly, I don't remember the last time I opened up and handicapped. I think it's been, maybe once or twice in the last couple of weeks. And as I've had a lot going on work-wise, but I'm really excited to get into it. And hi, Wiz.
Yeah.
Good morning, Oldie. What's up, Eric? And but it's good to be back. I know we missed I think last week. I think we'll start getting a little bit stronger into it, obviously, as we get into Saratoga and Del Mar and stuff like that. But
right, exactly.
But we've got the feeder, which is only $18 as usual on Fridays, and we're covering Gulfstream Park races 1, 2, and 3. We've got Belmont at Aqueduct while they build Belmont to the Aqueduct for the Belmont meet. That might be a little confusing, but it's races 1, 2, and 3. So we have 6 races altogether. For $18, you've got a chance of getting into the qualifier, and then if you're in the top 20%, you get into the qualifier, which is $75. So it saves you a little bit of money. And then the qualifier, I think the top 2 or 3, depending on how many people enter into the qualifier, the top 2 or 3 people will get to Las Vegas and into the National Horse Players Championship, which is amazing if you haven't done it. So if you want to join us and you want to be a part of this, we do this most every single week. And go to ntra.com. And for $50, you can sign up. Make sure you're a part of the tour. And that's about it. Did I miss anything, David?
Right. And I just wanted to add, Scotty. Go ahead. No. The only thing that I wanted to add was that since the last show, I'm trying to prove that you can do this for $18 and qualify. So I put myself on an $18 per week with the show. And so last week I made it to the qualifier, but didn't have luck there. So $18 invested, and let's see if we can also help some people get to the NHC, because it's definitely a trip well worth it.
It sure is. On the top right of your screen is a QR code. You get 3 free races per day, so you can check it out and see what all the buzz is about if you're interested. All right, let's get on to Gulfstream Park race number 1. We'll do race number 1, 2, and 3. And let's take a look at this. Gulfstream Park, here we go. 55 minutes. So we have 55 minutes to do 6 races. Can we do that?
Piece of cake, my friend, piece of cake.
All right.
I did most of the work on Aqueduct, but looked a little bit before the show on Gulfstream, so let's get it started.
Let's
run the race simulator. We've got a 12.5 claimer. Yep. 12.5 claimer going 8.5 on the synthetic. So
it looks like this one horse, who's the top pace number on the race simulator, looks like going to probably have the lead. We'll see. It's got a decent SOR, which is essentially our class number, and it is 20-1 on the morning line. What's interesting though is that it's the EquinEdge second pick. I'm shocked to see that, and I wouldn't leave this one out, and I'll tell you why. And it's maybe one to consider because it also has a good win percentage. It's drawn the rail. It fits here. It's dropping in class essentially as far as you can see it going from a 46 SOR to a 42. And it doesn't need the lead, but it's most likely going to have the lead. And the only other speed that will be close to this one has been sporadic in its breaks, and it's from the outside post. So the one most likely is going to have a pretty clean lead early on, from what I can see. You there, David?
Scotty?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were fading in and out for a while. Let me hear. Yeah. I looked at the one gray shadow because anytime I look at, the way I sort the races is by pace metric when I first pull up the race view. And when you have a horse that has got the rail and got, that much of you've got like a 16-point pace metric advantage, I would give the horse a look. But the issue for me is 0 for 2 on the on the Tapeta, and I mean 1 for 14 lifetime. I know this is a 2 lifetime, but I just don't see. I mean, this might be a speed, early speed and stop and pop type of thing. And I will admit I really struggled with this race after looking at it right before the show. I just didn't know where to go, to be honest with you. So when that's the case, if I can't go with either the Scotty long shot or the Scotty top pick, and I wouldn't use the Scotty long shot here, just breaking its maiden, and at a 41 SOR, about the similar group. But I think that I'd be on the 7 here, Noble Tiger. The horse is, even though 1 for 23, I know what you're going to say, been burning money and never gets the job done. But, I just think that in this spot, third time in a 12-5 claimer, in this, a similar SOR group, a 43 to a 42. So yeah, I'm going to take a shot with the Scotty top pick, Scotty Noble Tiger.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. This horse is going to get an absolute perfect trip, most likely behind the 1. I don't know where the 3 fits in here. It looks like the 3 has some speed, but the 7. But we've seen this in the last couple of races on the synthetic. It's perfect trips and then still lost. So yep. I'm not sure. Then you look. What's interesting is this one is interesting. Top win percentage, top GSR, and EE long shot sponge time. The system could have chosen the 1, 4, 2, and it chose the 5. It's 3-1 getting bet. It's 24%. It's the EquinEdge long shot. I don't like horses like this normally, but this is not a great group. This horse is going to sit in second flight, and won 9 furlongs on the synthetic last time out, and it's done well on the synthetic. It really has done well. It had 1 4 race here on January 17th, and it says it was bumped at the start. I don't know. It seems to be. It caught an easier group last time out.
Mm-hmm.
But there can be some tough horses even at the lower levels on the turf. So here I think the 5 fits in this context. I really do. Legal Maneuver is a horse that's going to get bet, and this one broke 10th last time out and was 9 wide and only lost by 3.5 lengths on the turf. It is dropping in class for sure. And if you look here at the synthetic races, it actually didn't run bad with some trouble against much tougher than what's lined up in here. It's the favorite right now for Carlos David. So certainly it deserves a look. Carlos David lost the 3 horse to Claim to Barry Croft last time out, who's won 2 of 8 races off of claims. So this one fits. We're looking at an opener here that's super tough on paper, right?
Yeah, rather contentious, I would say, right? But and again, when I look, very rarely, you know me, Scotty, as a horse player, very rarely am I going to play a horse as 1 for 23, right? Noble Tiger. But I like the outside post on the Tapeta there. And this horse has been in the 12-5 since they put the horse back on synthetic, and bless you. And you went into this 12-5 level. The horse has been running well, and I think probably found the right level here, because most of its career was racing at a slightly higher claiming level. So I think this, hey, listen, if the 24th time is not the charm, I'm done. So I'm going outside the box here with my typical handicapping approach, and I'm using a 1 for 23 horse, Noble Tiger, 3rd time in a claimer. Run well in the last 2 starts. So,
you know what I feel, David? I feel like I handicap my best when I'm not necessarily looking at each horse and seeing how good they are. I'm
Right.
looking at things like the 3-horse jockey trainer combinations, 5%. Like if you claim a horse and you feel confident about it, why are you putting a jockey Morelos, who I like Morelos, don't get me wrong, but their jockey trainer 5%. Noble Tiger, jockey trainer combination in 85 races, 8%. And then I look at the 6-horse, who's 9 to 5 EE morning line, 27% jockey trainer combination in 90 races. I'm going to go with the 6-horse.
Okay, so I'm going to lock you
By
on
default. By default.
By default, and again, the 7 Noble Tiger is exactly that by default.
Yeah.
And I mean, if I was going with a second pick, I'm just putting the pick in now. I guess I would go with Stone Cold Flex. I mean, Stone Cold Flex had beaten Noble Tiger at some point in the. I mean, Stone Cold Flex is was claimed for 12.5 off a win. Had beaten Sponge Time in that race to break its maiden on February 12th. So at 10-1 morning line, let's see what we have on Stone Cold Flex currently is 12-1. So yeah, I think the 4 would be my other pick, first time gelding, but we know how that goes. That doesn't guarantee any improvement. So
by the way, too, did get some good news is that, as we show, because of RCN and RTN, we show live streaming. In fact, we're going to be offering race replays and live streaming on our website, probably in less than 2 months. But and most of the approved tracks we show live streaming, which we'll do today. We've got Laurel Park; they just came on the track, Gulfstream Park, and many others. But the other good news is they created a portal for us so that we could also show race replays now for the approved tracks. Mm-hmm. So that's super exciting. So you're going to start seeing some backtracking and stuff like that of race replays. So super excited about that. Rashad, next year, that's the plan, just so you know. We plan on offering packages for one track. So that's going to happen. The team is only so big, and there's so many things we're working on at once that I know it's needed, believe me. So hang in there. Imran, I appreciate that. I wish we could do it, but that's not what this show is. We're covering all the races for the feeder that we need to catch up. We only have about 45 minutes to do that. So sorry about that. Thank you, Imran.
Thank you, Imran. Appreciate it.
He's been an OG for a long, long time. Yes. Appreciate that. Okay, so I'm going with the 6. You're going with the 7, and you're giving a look to the long shot 4-horse. Okay, race number 2 at Gulfstream Park. Let's run this race.
Okay, we're on the simulator. We've got a 7.5 furlong on the turf for these are 2-year-old fillies. And this is, again, a total guessing game, Scotty, in my opinion. Hold on a second. I'll let you take over. My EquinEdge just locked out on me.
No problem. All right, so you can see even at the stretch, you can see there's a wall of them. And I can tell you, I don't care. The 5-horse 2-1 doesn't matter. Like, you don't want to take favorites in a situation like this, you guys. Maybe we could throw out the 6-horse. You sort the SOR. Let's see if it's any class. It's kind of at it's got equal class. It looks like the 7 has some class. What this SOR shows you is in the last 3 races, the average competition the horse has faced. So then we look at it to see how it's done. So in this case, it's only 2 races, and it's faced tougher competition. Last time it faced a non-graded stakes field. Interesting that Jack put this horse in a stakes race after first time losing by 16 lengths first time out. Mm-hmm. It did move up in GSR. It clearly wants turf. We can see that by the tabs, but that's a lot of confidence that Sisterson was showing. I mean, Sisterson is only 10%, but he was sure showing a lot of confidence in this horse. And now this horse, of course, is getting the maiden race, still not in for a tag, and gets on the turf. What do you think?
Yeah, interesting off that 5 furlong sprint on the turf where she had no speed whatsoever. But that's an aggressive spot. The horse, she was 33-1 back into the maiden level. I mean, I'd say you could give the horse a shot, but I mean, the other horse I looked at is Backring Buzz, second lifetime start, first on the turf, coming off the Tapeta. Real quick before I lose this thought,
no doubt about it. But the GSR doesn't go up exactly. And
Yeah.
this horse is doing 2 turns for the first time and a different surface. And these horses, I'm not saying this horse can't win, and I don't want to talk anybody off this horse, but these are the types of horses I try to beat. Like, you're doing 2 different things. What you did in that first race, I'm not going to say means nothing, but it really means nothing.
Yeah, exactly. But one of my handicapping angles, especially at the NHC, is first-time turfers who have modest to decent or excellent turf breeding that may be overlooked because of bad dirt starts. But yeah, I mean, you're right about the GSR here, but I think the horse is a threat. And Bohemian, like I said, one of your favorite trainer, Jack Sisperson, but Jack's won 3 races at this current meet. I looked at Divinely Inspired, the 3, and the 3 is scratched. I'm going to go with back to the long shots here, Scotty. On these NHC qualifiers and feeders, I love playing the long shot. All you need is 1 and you're in. You know, why don't we go to the horse who's got the highest GSR in the race? I mean, when I can't figure out a race, EquinEdge is just so valuable that I like Sire, not this time. One of my favorite sires, very versatile, can win on the dirt, turf, synthetic. Yep, nice, decent breezes, pretty steady work pattern. Nothing jumps off the page. I'd be worried about Heather Schmoolin with is 4% with first-time starters, but that's why you're going to get a price. And so I am going with the 1 on my time strictly because of the highest GSR in the race.
Wow.
All right. Send it in.
Yeah. Look at you. Let me see here. I am looking at, I don't have it here. Another screen, I'm looking at the new GSR, but it's actually very good. Let's see here. 2. There's number 2. Okay, no, I can't. Don't have it for that one. Okay. Still in test. I'm going with Bohemian. And the reason is, look, this horse was 33-1 last time out, only 4% to win. It clearly wanted turf. The GSR goes up. The win percentage goes up. Now this is, you got Gonzalez jumping on for Jack Sisterson. They're 27% jockey trainer combination. You have a trainer that's 10%, but he's 27% with Edwin Gonzalez. So, I mean, he's most likely not putting Gonzalez on unless this horse is live. So I'm all over the 7 horse Bohemian. Okay,
so I'm going to lock you in on the 7 Bohemian, and I am on the 1, the current EE morning line of 20-1. And by the way, Wiz, I did take a look at the 6, but I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Brethren trying on the turf at this point. A decent race though, but it was a maiden 35. And if you look at the GSR, it's only got a 48. So I'll go with a long shot who's got a higher GSR at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't do anything in its first race. None of the metrics are moving upwards. It did run like a horse that probably wants to go 2 turns. That would be the positive I would give it. And jockey trainer combinations 0 for 4. I don't know that there's anything to go by. The dam earned 16,000 and 6 tries on the turf. Like there's not much to go by there, Wiz. Okay, let's go to race number 3.
Race number 3 at Gulfstream Park. We've got back to the Tapeta, 8.5 furlongs. And this is for, again, fillies and mares, non-winners of 2 lifetime. Isn't that the condition of the first race? Yep. All right, so this is a lower claiming level than the first race. And let's see.
The first thing I noticed with the 6 horse is, the job of the EE morning line is to predict what it thinks a horse will go off at, not whether it likes it or not.
Right.
So it's interesting that it thinks the horse will go off at 5-1, and maybe that's because it thinks the 3 will go off at 2-1. It thinks the 4 will go off at 3-1, which is great value, and the 5 at 5-2. So it does look like a tough race. And then when you look at the higher morning lines in the 2 and the 1, you can see that the race simulator doesn't like them either. So I'm going to go like this and get rid of them so we can have less horses that we have to concentrate on. So why don't you start us off?
Okay, yeah. Again, in a wide open race, I'm going to sort by the EE pace metric, and the 6 has the most early speed in here in all probability. And in all probability, it just broke its maiden last time for 12.5. I'm not a big fan, as you know, Scotty, of horses breaking their maiden, coming right back, first time against winners. But if you look at this horse, in all probability, that was again, a 36 SOR. It moves up to a 44. So normally it's a horse I would pass on. And there's a few other interesting horses that I saw. I mean, the 3 should put some pressure on the pace pressure on the 6. But they're both stretching out, right, for the first time on the synthetic. The 3 ran 8 furlongs last time out, but this is the first try for the 6 going those 2 turns. And trying to break going 2 turns first time off a maiden, facing winners, I'm not convinced here, in all honesty. The other horse I looked at, My Happy Holiday, the Scotty Longshot. This horse may be just a little too spotty for me, but if you look back, it's got some decent efforts. I'm not a big fan of, the trainer is 0 for 20. I'm not too familiar with the trainer. And again, the 3 stretching out does have a shot here, but I am going with a horse who, and this is the other interesting thing, was the morning line of 10-1 and has an EE morning line of 3-1. That's Edge of Freedom. I don't know if this horse is, if she's good enough here. She broke her maiden closing on April 25th, got up, and she was bet that day at 12.5. She was originally raced for a maiden special weight level and dumped into that spot. And that day when she won, she beat a 38 SOR group and moved up to a 46, now down to a 44. I don't know what happened last time. I'm thinking maybe she just didn't like the rail, Scotty. And it seemed to be maybe a slower paced race, and she didn't get enough pace, even though she stalked from the rail. So I'm going to give a shot that Edge of Freedom may rebound here. Second time now dumps down back to below the level of the claim. I'm sorry, of the maiden breaker, 12.58. Probably in the right position. And at 10-1 morning and 3-1 EE morning line, I'm sold. So give me the 4 Edge of Freedom. If I had a second pick, it would be the 6 in all probability.
So I really like to use the race simulator to just see how the race is going to play out. So 6 is most likely going to be on the lead, and that could make this horse very tough on the stretch out, especially when you look at it's fine on the class. If you look at the numbers, they're higher, and and most of these horses have been sprinters anyways, except for the 4 horse, which is definitely an advantage for a horse that's already been running 2 turns. The 5 has run 2 turns for sure, and it seems to be facing a little bit easier group. Right. But so the first thing I want to do is I'm running this and just kind of seeing how it's going. 7 is kind of back there, probably a little bit wide early. And then the 3's there on the inside, who's 7-5 on the morning line. It seemingly has a chance, and it really hasn't burnt any money because it was 15-1, 9-1, David, 16-1 here. I mean, I don't know that we can give this horse a hard time. And then when you look at but when I sort this, it looks like this horse wants to sprint. And then the other thing is it looks like the best chance for the 6 horse is on the lead. And so we could see a sprint duel with Jaramillo on the inside with the 6 horse, and they could go. And if that happens, then it really does set it up for the 4 or the 5. The 5 is the only blue arrow closing. It's 5-2. It's got proven at this at the distance. It likes the distances. And then look, it was inside and tight, so it had trouble last time out against better than this.
Right.
the time before that, it was on the inside. You know, sometimes horses don't like that. It's gonna get the best trip it's had, for sure. And so I'm going to go with the 5.
Okay, so Scotty's on the 5, Saint Chapelle. I am on the 4, Edge of Freedom.
Okay. So that's the first 3 races at Gulfstream. Now we have to do the first 3 races at BAQ.
BAQ, Belmont at Aqueduct.
We have 33 minutes, so we're running well ahead of time.
Yeah, we're doing well. We're doing good.
Let's see here. So it came in 184 at Laurel Park, by the way.
184 at Laurel Park. Okay.
184, and let's see what we had. Laurel Park, race number 1. And the 1 horse was the second top win percentage in top pace. So maybe you might want to watch, big pace number 2. So maybe you might want to watch the pace situation there at Laurel Park. We got 9-2 on a horse that had a good win percentage. So, and then the 8 horse, I haven't been playing lately, but when I do play and I'm really like handicapping good, I'm also looking to see, is there any blue arrows? If there's a bunch of blue arrows, no advantage.
Right.
You know, you have to, but when you only have 1, and I find that these horses are often in the money, unless the horse is, you know, a horse or 2, whatever, they set a slow pace and they get away. But
right.
But this horse really isn't that far back. So, you know, 4 or 5 lengths back, but they all are, you know, except for the 1. So 1180 on that 1 horse, and then look at the only closer was the 8. So you ask, why did the 3 not run good? Good question. You know, it's been inconsistent. I will say this: I wouldn't have played this horse. I would have been afraid of it, but they often get overbet. So it got overbet because of this last race. But when you look here in yellow, 2 times the horse was the big favorite. Even here it was 3-2, and it just got smoked.
Right.
So then it runs, for whatever reason, 1 good race on the turf, and then it gets overbet. It's not proven anything besides it got second last time out. And so often horses like this get overbet, for what it's worth. Okay. We need to go to BAQ. Race
number 1.
All right, let's run the race.
Okay.
What's up, Bill?
Hey, Bill. Oh, Bohemian, New York, huh? Actually, that's where I went to high school. Hey, Oscar. Bill, that's where I went to high school at Connecticut High School in Bohemian, New York. Huh? My old stomping grounds. All right, Belmont.
Maybe we should all leave the room. Maybe we should all leave the room for you and Bill.
And we can reminisce and have a reunion.
Mr. Gary Rice. How are you doing, Gary?
Hey, Gary.
How are you feeling? Okay.
All right, so we're going a long distance here on the turf, 11
This is all you. I'm not even handicapping. This is all you. Like you.
This is all me.
This is all you. Do you have notes on anybody here?
Yeah, no, not on this one. No. I struggled a little bit, to be honest with you, today with some of the notes because of some issue this morning. But no, this one I really did not have a good handle on. And in all honesty, this is a race that I normally these mares on the turf, fillies and mares going long distances and high optional claimers or grade 3s. I never usually have much luck. I thought this race was just so wide open. I mean, like La Mahina makes a lot of sense here, I guess. And the second Scotty pick, and it's got the blue ribbon, right? Top win percentage, second EE pick, draws the rail. But if you look, she just has so many close finishes. I mean, she's a closer. She'll hug that rail. She'll get a good trip. You got Pratt on for Carmouche, Lasix today, dropping into this optional claimer. I mean, she comes out of a 70 SOR, drops down to a 66, so a little bit of a drop. So definitely a contender. Do I want La Mahina as the favorite? I'm not sure. Then we go to the other horse I was interested in is No Show Sammy Joe. And geez, Scotty, you can say that she might have burnt money, a couple of times. She just missed as a favorite back at Keeneland in late November. Came off a layoff, was bet in the Gamely at Santa Anita. She was wired by Be Your Best, who just got an easy lead that day and just coasted and drew off. But she broke through the gate, No Sammy Joe, before the race. She comes out of a grade, 2 grade ones, but I'm looking at the SOR again, a 78 and a Jenny Wiley, which is excellent GSR number. I'm sorry, SOR number. And now it was a 70 in the Gamely. She drops down here a little bit and, gets out. If she gets out of the gate, she should be tough. She's 4 for 8 lifetime. And it's just the distance is the question, but she should be rather. Let me see what the pace metric is.
I don't think the distance is a question. I mean, she went 7 furlongs or 11 furlongs and got second in a grade 3. Let me. I think I have a beat on this horse. Let me tell you what I think. First of all, 4 wins and 8 tries. Had a pretty decent layoff of about looks like 6 months, and then so what happened here? So the horse in a 78 group in a grade 1. So first of all, Grand Motion was that confident that, I mean, this is a horse that had barely lost in a grade 3. All of a sudden, off the layoff, comes back in a grade 1. Come on,
right?
I mean, and then breaks slow, probably needed the race, and loses by 4 lengths. Amazing. And then comes back in the Gamely. The problem here is clearly she, and you know how these mares can get or fillies can get. Clearly, she must have been wound up. Had to be. And right. All of a sudden now she gets a 66 SOR group, and what you're looking for is only one thing: is she doing okay? Now, right. Pratt decides to get off, but I don't know, but I am not ready to throw out this horse. That's for damn sure. I think, like you said, I get a little concerned with La Mahana. I think this horse is going to run good. Does have 7 wins, but I mean, this one is just like burning money. And,
I know.
Mm-hmm. And doesn't seem to have the same win. Like, I don't know. Like, I'll go before you here. 1,000% for me. I'm going with the 5 horse No Show Sammy Joe.
Yeah, that's who I settled on also here, Scotty. I did also look at Immensitude coming off a brief freshening in that last race to Bewitched at Keeneland. That day it was a very boggy, yielding course. And maybe she prefers a much more firm course. So I mean, she had an excuse there, but I don't know. If you look at 3 for 16 lifetime, again another contender. I looked at the 3 Sakaya, who is projected to hold on a second. Sakaya is projected to have the early pace advantage here, and there's not a lot of pace. But you know how they run these races normally. It's like the European style, galloping on, send a slow pace, and around the far turn they just come charging. So I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. Second time in this country for Miguel Clement. But yeah. in essence, I keep going back to the 5 no show Sammy Joe. Yeah. The bat broke through the gate and was absolutely wired by Be Your Best, that was a good performance by that horse that day, Be Your Best. So yeah, the 5 for me, Scotty.
Yep, I'm with you. All right. Okay, race number 2. Let's see if we have any races coming up to watch. 24 minutes before Gulfstream Park. We've got 39 minutes before Woodbine. And race number 2 at Laurel Park is 12 minutes away. Good, Gary. I'm glad to hear that. Gary's one of the OGs.
Oh, great. Great.
Yeah, great guy.
Thanks for joining, Gary.
Good man. Okay. So the 1 and 6 looks like they could duel. Will that hurt the 1 horse, David Highland Falls? This one's on the inside, and it's a 1-turn mile, of course. And what do you think about this one? Because it looks like they both might need the lead.
Yeah, again, now this is a mile optional claimer, 100K. Yeah, you're looking at the prohibitive favorite, who is 4 to 5 morning line, 2 to 5 EE morning line in Highland Falls, and coming out of the Breeders' Cup Classic. And I will tell you, I mean, how your first look would be, yeah, 82 SOR in that race, and now this is a 70. But I've made had so much success, wagering against horses, grade 1, grade 2 horses coming back first time off of a layoff, because this is clearly a prep race, right? This horse is going to Saratoga in next month, and this horse won the Jockey Club Gold Cup back in September of last year with a real good performance. So the class is just there. So you've got to it's going to be really tough to beat 37% win percentage here. But in essence, I just can't take a 2 to 5 or a 3 to 5 in these feeders. It may cost me. So my alternative, Scotty, is to look for a horse who's going to pay at least a decent price for second, if it comes in second, where I'm not going to get hurt too bad if the one wins. And it would have to be a price. It's going to be more than a second or third choice. And the horse that I decided to land on here, and it may be a stretch, is Strapped at morning line 10-1, EE morning line 15-1.
Yeah.
Strapped won at a distance last time out. That was an off the turf race. And it's only a 3-horse field. So you got it. You can't judge anything by that race. Seemed to like the mile distance, has won on a sloppy track back in November, the mile. So kind of versatile, can handle shorter distances, but mostly a mile and up. And in nice race on February 26th at 7.5-1 over this track, and now cutting back. And the key is you got a good workout too on June 13th, 5 1-minute breezing. So this is the value and 5 for 14, lifetime at Aqueduct, 9 for 14 in the money. So I think this horse is sneaky to run well. And at that price, I'm going to give a shot with the 5 Strapped over Highland Falls.
I love you, but I couldn't disagree with you more. I mean, what this horse did was win against a 58 SOR group by a half of a length. Then there was here it got third by going at 11 furlongs in the dirt against a 58 group, but was 27% to win. Then moves up here to a 68, 4%. It didn't run bad here, but there was only 5 horses in there. It was 15-1, and here it won. I don't know. I do, and the horse has no speed. I do not like that. I think this horse, the best chance it has is third. That's what I think.
Well, I'm hoping for a second at a price, so that's not far off. But I will tell you that sometimes I like these horses. Off a win and has been in pretty good form for Rudy Rodriguez. Rudy strikes when the iron's hot. Rudy keeps these horses in form for a few races, and then they usually tail off. And I think I'm encouraged by that June 13th work. Yes. Will this horse have to step up in class? Yeah. Oh, yeah. The horse is going to have to run. He's going to have to run the best race of his life to compete here. But I think he's the sleeper. So I understand your point, but I am still solidly on the 5 Strapped.
Okay. All right. And then on the 1 horse is 2 to 5. But considering the layoff, considering the rail and the 6 is so fast, I think that you have to leave a horse like the 1 out. I think what I worry about in here is, could the 6 horse go gate to wire? Because I doubt that the 1's going to duel with the 6. Now, what could happen and does happen is the 1 just has so much class that and Pratt rides with a bunch of confidence that he just sends early from the inside and says, "You can go with me all you want, but I'm just too good for you." Yeah. And that's certainly a possibility. It definitely looks like the workouts are good. They're very consistent. I don't see any improper spacing, which means the horse is doing well. A bullet here, 5 of 53 here. Like, this horse looks like it's doing pretty darn good, right?
Yeah, you've got a chance for a wire job here, but that would be 2 wire jobs basically in a row at a mile. Yeah, I mean, I see why you like the horse. So is your strategy also here going to be to try to beat the one?
But I for sure. But when I look at this, I'm like, which one of these horses is going to beat the one? I mean, I guess you can maybe look at this 3 horse here, but only has 5 wins. It's 20 to 1 EE morning line, which is interesting. But it won against a 70 group here, got second here. Here only lost by 2.5 lengths, and it seemed to have some trouble. Here it had some trouble and just completely stopped. But maybe, I don't know what the reason is. And a lot of times you get value when that happens. This horse seems to, if you're going to try to beat the one, it seems to be interesting. Of course, the 4 horse, the EquinEdge second pick. I mean, here really is the horse, right? I mean, look at the SOR levels. I mean, he's been competing against, much better horses that are in here, of course, except for the one. Gary Barber's part of the ownership group. Gary always has nice horses. So maybe there's something there. The EquinEdge long shot algorithm could have chosen the 3, 2, 6, and 5, and it didn't. It chose the 6. Of the 3 and 2, it couldn't have taken the 1 or the 4.
Right. Well, again, the 4 it could be live here, right? The second race off a layoff, and this horse is, even though it's 0 for 4 on this racing strip, that group at Churchill Downs was a 74 SOR. Now there's a 70. So if you compare the SOR group that the 4 has been racing against is higher than the 5. So yeah, I mean, the 4 is a usable horse, but my point is I think I could make a win wager on the 4, but as far as the feeder is concerned, if the 1 is just as good, it didn't really, this is a prep race and he still, dominates this field. If 4 finishes second, it's not going to really do me any good. So that's my mindset. Using a horse is going to be a higher price if the 5's dropped.
I'm going to use the 1. I just don't see this horse I don't think it's going to get beat. It's training really good. Its only poor performance was in the Breeders' Cup Classic, and we see a lot of these horses not come back well, but clearly they've had a lot of patience. Brad Cox is, and probably because this is a super, super nice horse. It's won $1.3 million in 10 races, 5 wins, 2 seconds, and a third. They've clearly not rushed this horse. Whatever happened to him, now they're just relaxing with this horse, taking it easy. There's a likelihood this horse comes back running. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm actually looking forward to seeing this horse run.
Yeah, we'll see. Yep, absolutely. It's a prep race for. This might be a prep race for the Whitney, right? So it doesn't necessarily have to win. Is the point? Brad Cox is not going to, have this horse totally cranked. But if you look at Brad Cox's record, it's got to be off layoffs. 27% first race back. He's a 22% trainer, so he gets his horses ready. But again, I've had a lot of success over the years wagering against horses that are grade 1, grade 2 coming back in a prep race. So that's the strategy here.
So the 3 horse is 4 to 1 EE morning line. The race simulator hates the horse. It's not the EquinEdge long shot. I mean, it's literally the weirdest thing. And it's only 1% to win. So I don't know. But and then you have the 2 horse that dominates in every category.
Right. So you've got a horse here, the 2. First of all, we're in a maiden special weight race for New York breds, and the 2 horse, based on its first couple of starts, has run pretty well, but the issue is has not gotten a job done. In the debut race, stalked the pace and then kind of tired late. Second race had the lead in probably a slower pace race, and then couldn't hold on. Then was favored in the same company and off step slow. And then now a muddy track, 6.5 furlongs cuts back. So maybe this horse didn't like the mud. But Scotty, how many excuses are we going to give this horse? That's the issue. So, even it's hard for me to play against a horse who's got that 53% win percentage. And I mean, and then look at Roofer. He's got 8 starts, and he had a lead back on April 27th, a 4-length lead, and got beat.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like a type of horse with a winning profile.
No, the 2 and the 2 and the 6, and the 6 is 32%, so the 6 must be decent. There's just these horses are going, and then you have a horse like the 3 that's a first-time starter, and I mean I've seen it, but the system is super good with first-time starters. You have a trainer that's 0 for 16, James Ferraro, with first-time starters. Why the hell is Flavian Pratt on this horse?
Yeah, no, I hear you. So again, is the 2, would I be willing to single the 2 in any horizontals? Possibly. But as far as the feeder is concerned, I'm just not, 4 starts, and besides the last one that had maybe a valid excuse because maybe the horse didn't like the mud. We can't determine that. And it just seemed like I want somebody maybe who has, less starts and more of an upside. And, reluctantly, I'm going to Chris's Song here, the 8 for Linda Rice, who is usually not the greatest off, first-time starters or layouts. But I see first race back 17%. Overall, she's a 14% trainer, so that's not so bad. So I'm taking a shot that Chris's Song will be ready, first-time gelding. But the issue is, Scotty, this horse, when you look at the pace numbers, hold on a second, she's a closer. So everything would have to go her own way, and if I would have to anticipate or hope for a speed duel between the 2 and the 6. So that's my scenario: speed duel between the 2 and the 6, and the late closer comes flying on the outside and maybe hits the board at probably the 3rd choice, right? So Chris's Song for me.
Hail Mary. Gary, I just got that. I just sent that to Brad. I'm surprised that's not updating, but I just sent him a picture of it. So the system will update that any minute, I'm sure. All right, so you're going with who here in race 3? I'm sorry.
I'm going with the 8 Chris's Song.
Okay. I think Wiz is agreeing with you. Yeah.
Yeah, Wiz likes it, right?
Well, maybe the horse has got a chance then.
Right, exactly. Thanks for the compliment.
I have no clue. I don't like the 2 or the 6. Both of them have stopped having clear leads. The 2 horse clearly needs the lead. It draws on the inside of the main contender that it has. And I mean, look, and if it breaks slow, forget about it. It's over. The only thing is, right, if it breaks bad, I'm going to take it. I already know. I'm going with the 6 because I don't like anybody else. And I hope that the 2 breaks slow. I'm going with the 6. All right. That's good.
Okay. Scotty, I lock you into the 6 Roofer, and I'm on the 8 Chris's Song in the 3rd at the Big A.
Okay, let's see here. 6, 8. Okay, so now we're done. Let's just do a recap. In race number 1 at BAQ, we both agreed on the 5. I am going to play in the feeder, so I'm doing that right now.
Okay.
5. You have the 5 as well. Gulfstream Park, there's 9 minutes before this feeder. Brad's been in a meeting, Gary. That's why. Okay. They're going to take care of it right now. Okay. And then Gulfstream Park. You're on the 7. I'm on the 6.
Right. Race 1.
I'm on Legal Maneuver. You're on Noble Tiger. And then in race number 2, you're on the one horse On My Time. You're taking a chance there with the first-time starter.
Right. With the highest GSR.
Yeah. 1 second here. Okay. Second. Okay, so you are on the 7. All right. In race number 2, I'm on the 7, you're on the 1. Okay, that's what it is. 7. And then in race number 3, I'm just filling out my entry here. You're on the 4 and I'm on the 5, Saint Chappelle.
Race number 3. Yep, I'm on 4. Yep.
Yep. Okay. So that is it. And then we have, let's see here. Laurel Park just came in 157. We have 6 minutes before Gulfstream Park's opener that starts this feeder. 157 over at Laurel. And the EquinEdge long shot. That's a nice one there. Wicked Melissa. And this one was a horse to watch. Went off at 5-2. The EquinEdge long shot and 26% to win. That's nice, David. I love, you know what I love? You see a horse to watch, a decent EE morning line, and then a win percentage, and then an EE long shot. I'll take that all day long. And then you run the race simulator, and it's right next to the 2 horse, who's really not getting bet, has burned money. Oh yeah, no, for sure. I wish we'd have looked at that. We could have played that.
Yeah.
So we'll just kind of loiter around and start the qualifier, which starts with B of A or BAQ race number 5, and we'll do that here after the opener at Gulfstream Park. How's that sound? And
that sounds good.
Churchill Downs, just for the fun of it. 1-5 shot, 58%. Can you take? I know it's 4-5 EE morning line, but and the field must be really bad, and it's clearly a drop in class. But man, can you imagine betting this horse? Look at this horse, and it's 1-5 right now. But
yeah,
it's never really been bet, David.
I know, but look at the field, right? There's only 3 other horses. I got to take a look. I haven't really looked at this race in all honesty.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. So the 3 horses definitely got the class. Oh, they just took off too. Okay, maybe I can turn it up.
Anna Maria.
Okay.
I'm looking at it now. Excuse me. I would have interest in the 5. I'm not looking. I don't have the feed up here. Who's winning the race?
Looks like the big favorite's going to win easily, and then that's all SOR. Yeah, so it looks like the 3 Ambridge is going to win pretty easily.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep. And then, all right, we've got Gulfstream Park race number 1 coming up. We could revisit this. The 6 horse is 3-1. It's 9-5 EE morning line. And when I look at this horse on paper, it does not deserve to be 9-5 morning line, but that's what I love about it. And because you can't see it.
Right.
And I love Vasquez getting back aboard. The jockey trainer combination is 27%. And it's one thing if the horse on paper looks like it should be the big favorite and then doesn't get bet.
Right.
But this is a horse that it's hard to see as a handicapper.
Right.
So you're on the 7 horse Noble Tiger, who's lukewarm action at 4-1. The EE morning line had it at 7-2 from an odds makers, 2-1 outside post. You want to change your play? To me, that's a negative. 7-2 right now.
7-2 off a 2-1 morning line. Yeah.
I don't know if I told you, but 80% off of the odds makers morning line, 80% of horses that win are an underlay of the odds makers morning line.
Right.
It's a stat that we ran about 3 or 4 years ago. I imagine it hasn't changed much, but so essentially, when you look, who are the horses that have a look? Well, the 6 horse is an overlay, which is a negative. Now it could get bet late. The 5 horse on paper and winning, of course, that people see that, but they don't understand that only 5% of horses that break their maiden win next time out. Right. So that no matter if the horse wins or not, it's just a bad play. And then you look at a horse like the 3 horse, it's 3-1 odds makers morning line, but it's 9-1 EE morning line, which is negative. It's not in any of the top spots on the picks. It's, and then you have a horse like the 2 horse, who's 12-1 odds makers morning line is 7-1. The 1 horse is 10-1 odds makers morning line and 8-1. So like right now, when you're looking at this, the 1, 2, or 5 would be your most likely winners 80% of the time. If you're looking just at overlay and underlay.
Right. Now, the horse that I think is a sleeper here is the 4th at 13-1, Stone Cold Flex. But no, the 7's taking a little money at 3-1. Probably end up going off 5-2. But Scotty, I'll be back in about a minute.
No, you're fine.
Okay, thanks.
You got it. All right, let's check this out. So then we have let's look at these horses and just see how they're doing. So let's look at the 6 horse. That's my top play right now. It's the first leg of the feeders, so we have a chance to maybe change some of these picks. But that's legal maneuver. There's your favorite at 5-2 right now. That is Sponge Time, who just broke its maiden. His maiden, not by much, 3-year-old. Son of Hard Spun. I mean, this horse ran good. It's been very inconsistent. I don't know. It's a rough one. It's one of the ones, but considering how horses do first time out against winners, and it's lukewarm. That horse being 5-2 lukewarm. Look at the betting. It just tells me you can't really trust any of this, right? Oh, did you have a note, Oldie? Oh, did you have a note here? Or what had a note? I missed that, Oldie. Did Justin put in his notes here? These are Justin's, I'm assuming, right? Red Hot. Carlos David is red hot. 26 for his last 81. So it looks like the only horse. Oh, okay. So Justin put it. He absolutely fits and could be sitting on a breakout effort at a big number. He's talking about the 2 horse. And I mean, this horse's last 3 races were absolutely horrific. But the system put this horse at 3-1. That, and with these small connections, that doesn't put the horse in the winner's circle, but it certainly makes you re-look at the horse some. And then when you run at the race simulator, I mean, it's right there. Like all of them are. Like any one of these horses can win this first race, David. Oh, he's not back yet. All right, they're at the gate. Look, you should look at the late action too. Look, so late action, the 6 is getting a little bit of play. 5 still the same. Nobody else. I just think they're really struggling here. I'm still on the 6 horse. I'm going to stay on the 6. And the 6 is 3-1 right now, so it is getting bet late. So the 3 is going to be equal to its morning line here any minute. So or any second. So I'm gonna stay there. All right, you guys.
5 pool is blasted past $100,000. A wide open betting board currently 3, 5, 6, and 7, all vying for the favorites role. Palm Beach Racing colors worn by Miguel Vasquez on Legal Maneuver. And then draw me outside. It's the orange colors worn by Edgar Perez on Noble Tiger, who will complete the line. 9 races in total today. Tropical Turf pick 3 with the second race. Rainbow 6 with race 4. Tracks are fast. Turf is firm. And they're at the post.
Want to see the 6 break good.
Racing at Gulfstream.
I stumbled a little bit.
Legal Maneuver quick to begin and looks for the early advantage from Willingness, and who's on to challenge up on the outside. Noble Tiger toward the rail. Gray Shadow won't be far away. Down at the inside goes Paxton, really 2 path, while third last. Second last is Stone Cold Flex.
1 did not
4 wide at the back. The trailer
like
is Sponge Time. Around the first turn they go. It's Willingness and Jose Morelos with the inside edge and the lead. Legal Maneuver situates in second. At the rail, it's Gray Shadow in third. Noble Tiger under a hold from Perez while racing in fourth, 3 lengths from the lead. A length and a half in front of Sponge Time, who improves around Paxton. And now the trailer is Stone
Legal
Cold
Maneuver
Flex.
went as an underlay.
Quarter speed was 24 and 1.
It went from
4 to 1 down to 5 to race.
3 to 1.
Willingness on top by a length and a quarter. Legal Maneuver is
I love
second.
that.
Like the rail, Gray Shadow is now third for Noble Tiger, who's on a hold while out the center. Sponge Time is in the blue and pink colors behind the speed.
Right now.
Gap of 2 to Paxton and 2.5 more to Stone Cold Flex. They went to half and 47 and 4, and they leave the backstretch and move on to the far turn.
Now it's a
Willingness has the lead. Perez moves on Noble Tiger. That says Vasquez into action on Legal Maneuver. Legal Maneuver's dropped back to third, however. Sponge Time is on from fifth. Gray Shadow just ahead of him as they reach the final 5/16. The leader is Willingness on top by almost a length now. Noble Tiger is second. Legal Maneuver trying to get another effort together. He's back to third. 2 back to Gray Shadow, then Sponge Time, and they're on their way home. 3 quarters, 1:11 and 4. They straighten for the drive. Willingness, indeed, he has a kick off the turn and leads now by 2. Noble Tiger is flat to the boards and trying to go get him. 3 back to Sponge Time. He's now third. Stalled. It's Willingness at 9-2 to kick off the Friday program, a length and a half in front. Noble Tiger second. Sponge Time
3, 7, 5. You get some points, David, but yeah, I mean, the 7's kind of shown that doesn't have the willingness to go by. And nice job, Morelos did a good job. I think we looked at the jockey trainer combination on this, and it was only 5%. That was the reason why I didn't use it. And the 7 was 8%. So the 2 lowest came in first and second. So there we go.
And Scotty, when they're coming down the lane around the far turn, I'm like, Noble Tiger is going to finish the second, and it serves me right for betting on using a horse as 1 for 23 lifetime, right? But I figured, but still get a couple of points.
Who else were you going to use? I mean, it's not like there was an obvious other horse, right?
Right. Yeah, I didn't anticipate the 3 going wire to wire here, but in retrospect, off the claim, okay, Barry Croft off the claim is not the best claiming trainer first time out, right?
No, I think it was 0 for 16, wasn't he?
Let me see here. No, it was 0 for 16. Barry Croft was first time off the claim. He is.
Oh no!
He's 25%. 9% overall.
Nice job. Well, I won't. I won't ignore that sign next time.
Yeah. Okay. Missed that one.
All right. Race number 5. Let me get rid of these so we can see it on the screen. 9 doesn't look like a contender as well, and I'm going to throw out the 10. Okay. Start. I'll be right back.
Sure. All right, well, the first race of the the qualifiers, it's like the 5th race at the Big A, and that is a 6.5 furlong sprint on the dirt. And let me just take a look. And yeah, I'll wait for Scotty to arrive to help me out here. You know, I'm a Naira guy, but this is just an absolute crapshoot. This 5th race at the Big A. We've got. Hold on a second. Let me just pull up my. It is just an absolute guessing game. $20,000 claimer for fillies and mares 4 and up, and they're going 6.5. And the top, you do have 2 horses here that are quite speedy early. The 1A, she's a little edgy, and the 9, Follow Your Arrow. So that you can, I may anticipate a pace duel here. And really, when I look at it, there are a number of other contenders in here. And like I said, this is just looks like a very, very difficult race. But the horse that I'd be leaning on here is the 4 Achilles Start. The trainer, Stephen Shower, this is his first time off the claim, lures Dylan Davis. And he's gotten off to a really good start with his claimers. He's actually with 29 starters. Stephen Shower is has a 25% overall win percentage, and even though he's only first time off the claim 14%, I think he won with his first 2 that he claimed in New York. So, excuse me, the 4 Achilles Start would probably be for me. Did the last race had an off track. This horse is 0 for 3 on any off track, and she, may not have cared for the 7 furlong distance either. So 6.5 might be up her alley more. So that's the horse I was leaning on here, and that's the 4 Achilles Start. Now wait for Scotty to come back. I'm just going to pull up the leaderboard here for the feeder. And we've got 183 total entries today. And the top 36 win a 75 entry into the qualifier. And right now, we've got a number of people tied for first with $17.40. Top 36 make it, and I am in the mix here, tied for, I guess, with a bunch of people, 26, so something like 43. So get some points on the board. It looks like they're approaching the gate here, or they're in a post parade at Laurel Park. Let me pull Laurel Park up here.
Okay.
All right. Well, Scotty, while you're in your absence, I didn't have too much dead air time.
Okay.
But, so I did handicap the 5th race, and the way I think the race is going to develop is that there's going to be pretty contentious duel between the 1A. Yeah. She's a little edgy, and the 9. So I think you could easily have a closer here. And the horse that I was interested in is the 4 Achilles Start for Stephen Shower, first time off the claim, cutting back in distance. Maybe didn't like the good track, and maybe prefers a shorter distance than 7.
So you're going with
in the 5th at you're tricking me. I'm getting in the Belmont. It's actually the Big A. No matter where they run it, if it's in South Ozone Park, it's the Big A. I'm going with the 4 Achilles Start. Dylan Davis aboard for Stephen Shower. who's been a pretty good trainer since he started in the New York area.
Yeah. The EquinEdge long shot, I like that it's 5-1, 15%. EquinEdge long shot, right there in the race simulator. I like that. It's facing easier horses. Here it had 2 inside posts. Here it faced, and this was too tough. This was too tough. Faces the easiest competition, draws outside, and jockey trainer combination is 14%, not bad. And I do worry a little bit about the 8 having speed on the outside and hurting the 7 horse. So we'd really need a perfect trip. I don't know that it's going to get the best trip. That's the only negative for me. What about She's a Little Edgy, the 1 horse? I mean, it clearly looks like it's going to have the lead.
Yeah, Scotty, I think She's a Little Edgy is going to be on edge, but again, she's got the one. She's 1A, but she draws the outside post. So so you got 2 horses on the outside, the 9 and the 1A. The scenario I see is just an absolute speed duel here, and besides the horse that I picked, the 4. I mean, anybody who closes, I think, has got a shot here. I'm against the two speedballs.
All right, let's go to race number 6. I'm doing the 7 horse Jackson's Dixie, the EquinEdge long shot.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go to race number 6 and run this.
All right. Now we do also have what do we got here? We've got the Big A's coming up in about 2 minutes.
Okay.
Actually, 5 minutes. I'm sorry.
5 minutes. Okay.
We got them.
Okay. Go for it, David. Sorry, I had to take care of something. Go ahead and start this off.
Okay, I'm sorry. I kind of zoned out there. I was in the midst of handicapping. Okay. Yeah, outer turf, we got 6 furlongs for we've got 3-year-olds and up, and optional 40K claimer. Now I'm sorry, just let me pull my EquinEdge here again. Went back to the other race, and late scratches. The 1 is out, consider it done, and the 4 Mazzara. You've got a horse here that Jabba Buzz, who clearly has the significant pace metric advantage. Yeah. Last race, it had Gun to the lead. And just at a 4-length lead, coming down past the 8th pole, and just got just totally stopped and was collared. And most of the races that this horse has run loses ground. It's like a speed pop and just dies. But look at the jockey change, right? You've got Pratt on, Hara off. You got a bullet workout on June 19th. Yeah, I mean, I'm tempted with Pratt, right? Because it's just, you've got on the ledge who's got the other speed, who may be pressing. So I thought the 2 and the 5 were both dangerous here. But I'm going to take a shot here with a horse, the 6-horse Master Freud. It came off of a few-month layoff on April 25th. and hit gate at the start. You could throw that race out. That horse, usually has more speed, so that was a valid excuse. Then for the first time stretched out, and that horse was bet that day at 4-1, and I was like, it looked like the lone speed, but I'm like, that's a bet against for me. This horse has never stretched out, and I was right. Did held on pretty well into the stretch, and then tired late. And then the next race, I'm going to give a pass to this horse because of the one post. The one post is a little tricky if you don't get the lead in here, and he didn't seem to get the best trip. So moving back to the 6 post, Liscano's back on. So I'm going to land on the 6 here at Scotty Master Freud, and I really have an interest also in the Speedball Java Bus. So those are the 2 horses for me. We'll put 6 as my top pick.
Okay. David's on the 6. I know that I'm taking the 3, 5, 7, or 9. I'm going to take a closer. Looking at the class horses, which are the 9 and the 7, then I'm looking at the 3 horse that's got 24%, 9-2 EE morning line, top win, top GSR. So I've got to look at Dillinger. I just don't know that this horse, look at the money it's burned as the favorite. It's just burned too much money. It does go to a new trainer. Look at maybe the trainer can do something with this horse. Michelle Giangiolo.
Giangiolo, yeah. Giangiulio, I think it's pronounced.
Giangiulio, there you go. That's exactly right. Giangiulio is 19% first off the claim. That's pretty phenomenal, honestly. And so maybe if this horse has 7 seconds and 2 wins in 16 tries, so the horse is a trier, no question about that. By the way, you can see up here the Tropical Turf Pick 3 on the upcoming races bar here. You click on that, it'll take you to it, and you can also click it from here and the first leg, which is race number 2 at Gulfstream Park. So and what you can do if you haven't seen this yet, you can just put in a budget, press enter, and there you go. And you can go from then Gulfstream Park 6 and then Gulfstream Park 9. That's how that works, and you'll see it on the upcoming races. So that's it. We have every special wager now, David, just so you know. Just like that.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's really neat.
Good job.
All right. So race number 6 at Belmont. Get back to there. You are going to take the 6 horse Master Freud. Man, if this horse rated here, it seems like a little bit I just don't know that I trust it rating. And then Dillinger has a new trainer. And then when you take a look at the class, the 9 horse certainly is a player here. Second off the layoff. It broke from the 10 hole last time out. Now it breaks from the, how many horses in here? 3, 6, 7. It's not too bad. Let's see here. And then the 7 horse, I See You Looking. I mean, this one closed last time out pretty darn good. What I do like about that is that was the first time. I'm going with a 7. I really like, they often improve second time out. So first time they're going 6 furlongs on the turf here. Now gets another shot, exact same conditions, same competition. And there does seem to be a lot of speed to set up this horse's late kick. So I'm going to go with the 7.
Okay, now I'm going to lock Scotty McKeever in on the 7. I See You Looking. And I'm on the 6 Master Freud.
Okay, so let's get out to the opener at Belmont, at Aqueduct. And you are on whom?
Oh, we're on a prohibitive favorite. I didn't expect Sammy Joe. Yep. Even money right now. Yeah, I didn't expect that. In retrospect, I mean, if this was a live contest, I would probably go to another. I'd probably go to the 4 here. So, but we're locked in. It's a pick and pray. So Scotty and I are both on the, as Oldie would like to say, the 1-to-1 shot. And I prefer the term even money.
Yeah.
So we're locked in.
So they're going into the gates, and I'll be right back.
Okay. Well, it looks like No Show Sammy Joe got an easy lead. So that portends well if for me and Scotty. Let's see what the first quarter. Scotty, they gave the 5 just an absolutely early lead. Easy
wow.
lead.
Yeah. Okay. So 5's on the lead right now at even money. The 4-horse Immensitude, the French bred, is sitting in second. The red cap nicely, and then a Dazzling Dictator at 21-1 sitting third. The other main contender, La Mahana with Flavian Pratt, the other French bred, is running very nicely on the rail, and but they went 26-1 for the quarter, which is
crazy.
Yeah.
Even though that course did take a lot of rain.
52-2 for the half. This is a very nice horse, and this horse looks to be just. And you know what the key was with this one? We talked about this one. It wasn't relaxed. It broke to the gate last time out. It wasn't relaxed. I mean, she looks amazing right now. Like, you can tell how happy she is. It's going to take a lot to catch her. It really, really is.
Right. And you made a point that she just missed at the distance. I had a question of distance. At this point, she's looking. And again, we don't know because it did take a lot of rain. So I'm not going to make
she is galloping out there right now. I mean, she is galloping. And now Franco asked her, and she just pulled away.
The 6 made a move on her.
Yeah, and so nice by Franco to make that first move. 4's on the rail fighting for second. The 1's coming, Mahana, though. And it's going to be for second place. The 4 and the 6 right now dueling. Here comes the 1. Mahana's going to get second. Oh, my God, no.
Whoa, so you believe it? Wow.
Wow, Mahana. She's earned a lot of money, by the way, too. I mean,
yeah.
With that, can I tell you, I really don't think that the 5 was stopping. I really do think Mahana just ran a huge race. That's what it looked like, honestly. It didn't look like – that's what was so surprising on that one. Like, not too often I'll call it like that, and then that happened. It's just the 5 wasn't stopping. The 1 ran a huge, huge race. Wow. So nice job, by the way, Miguel Clement, taking over for his dad. That was the first time, and what he found was a very good spot here, and often that's what you need. So nice job.
Scotty, just give me 1 second.
Yeah. Hey, Scotty.
Right.
Okay. So we did race number 6 at the Big A. You can see the special wager Tropical Turf Pick 3, which starts in race number 2 at Gulfstream Park. If you want to play it, you can just click here, and it'll take you. And then you go to the ticket generator, put in your budget, and there you go. Now you can make your adjustments if you want. And 7-1 right now in the 9. So you might come over here like this and do that. 17-1 in the 8. We only like the 1 and the 7. So maybe add the 1 horse that David likes. Do that. You can adjust your own ticket if you want. And this is how fast you can play any of the special wagers: coast to coast, all pick 3s. The what's the other one? Cross country pick 5. A little bit later today. We didn't do Gulfstream Park race number 6 yet, but we can. This is how you can play these special wagers very easily. This is an interesting horse. The 3 is 9-5 EE morning line into horses like the 1 and the 2 Trompetta. That's super interesting. So probably say no to the 6 horse, and maybe do something like that, and then 1 more leg, and get rid of this horse here. The 8's 37%. It looks like it's probably going to have the lead the entire time. And even money on the 5 horse, Pajaro, who's just broke its maiden barely. But, Sticky Mishnickens. We've seen this one before. And this was This one's a hard knocker and going to be really tough on the grass. I mean, that speed really holds on the grass, and Zayas is going to be super aggressive. And maybe you single a horse like this. Bajara's facing winners for the first time, so come over here like this, and we'll just make sure maybe the 2 horse, for whatever reason, the EquinEdge long shot. It didn't run bad here. It's not the best breaker in the world, but the 8 horse is definitely going to have the lead, I would imagine. And you could take a closer. You could say, okay, I'm gonna add the 2 in there, depending on your budget. So you could, maybe do something like this, lock it in.
Lock it in.
Right. And you can lock in all these, make sure you click the lock button, and then now you're set, you regenerate, and you could do this ticket for $32. Not a bad ticket. Hope, right? And then hope the 2 wins in the 3rd leg. But anyways, that's the what do you call this wager? This is the Tropical Turf Pick 3. And it goes from Gulfstream Park race number 2 to Gulfstream Park race number 6 to Gulfstream Park race number 9. So yeah, I mean, we had the 1 and the 7. Maybe we make it even a smaller ticket. Just go, you know what? We're only going to do the 1 and the 7. Now the ticket's $16.
You get 22 to 1 shot. You want the the thing is, Scotty, the 1's not taking much, really no much. It's not taking any money at all. So
yeah,
again, have a small taking a risk.
It's not 50 to 1. It's
correct.
You know what I mean? And it's 20 to 1 EE morning line. So it's pretty much to the morning line, which is always a positive. So 1 minute before race number 2, we'll stay here before we hit up race number 7 at BAQ. So let's get out of the special wager. So bear with me 1 second. I'm just sending a bug that I found. Literally, it's what I do all day long, David. Between bugs, like working on bugs on the site and things like that, right? When you capture them, you have to send them.
Exactly.
And then the team just gets on it, and then they have their meetings, and they go over it. And but there's the 7 horse, by the way. That's my top pick, Bohemian. This one's dropping in class, and I just think it looks really tough.
Yeah, I agree, but again, this is my chance for a price, hoping to run second at 19 to 1 with the 1. But I do like the breeding, and again, it's got the highest GSR, so it couldn't be the worst stab in the world, right?
Yeah, no, the 5 to 2 right now on the 7, but it's on my.
Hey, Scotty. An old friend of mine just chimed in. Hey, Tim Clark, how you doing, my friend? Tim Clark and I met at my first NHC back in 2017, Tim, 2018. What a hell of a guy. He's from Texas, and we became good friends since that meeting. And that's the year I lost my cell phone. My cell phone broke down, and he was kind enough to give me his flip phone so I could use the entire week. What a nice gentleman.
Wait, hold on. You just opened up a can of worms. So you're telling me that Tim's using a flip phone?
Oh, no, this was back in 2017. Tim, I believe it was a flip phone.
That's still unacceptable. That's still unacceptable.
And Tim's from, he's a good Lone Star. Yeah, I hear you. Tim is a Lone Star guy. He knows our friend Tyler. Thanks for joining in, Tim. I appreciate it.
Such great people.
Really good guy.
Has Tim upgraded though to the iPhone?
No, Tim. I think he might have. Actually, he was in the NHC with us 2 years ago, right, Tim? And when my son Kevin was there. And I think he did have he had the laptop before I did. So what am I saying? I'm sure he's got it.
I believe that. All right.
I think the flip was his backup. So thank God that I had some kind of phone.
Okay. Let's see here. So multiplayer. Okay. So we are on the race here. You guys see that? Here we go. All right.
The horses are at the gate. It's now post time.
Scotty, how are you?
Moving in for race number 2. The Tropical Turf Pick 3 starts here. Kitty Cleo draws the outside and will complete the line.
All right. David's on the first time start of the 1. I am on the 7.
Back Ring Buzz, one of the favorites.
Raced the stakes race last time out that he shouldn't have been in. Let's see what happens. Yeah. These are fillies.
Fire off and running. Absolutely perfect start. Triple Threat begins quickly, and that'll carry Kitty Cleo over. These two try to get over. Guarding an inside spot is Insta Purchase, and moving into the back ring. Buzz had checked off heels as Le Sunshine was cattywampus to the turn run. So Kitty Cleo's going to be up and around rivals to take a clear lead. She's a length and a half in front. Headstrong Triple Threat, Headstrong Le Sunshine. Up on the outside, back bearing Buzz is now in the second. Between horses, Estrella. Bohemian is a bit deep on the course. She's the gray.
No, that's to the outside.
As the leader tries to back it down. Many of these trying the
two-turn
distance for the first time with On My Time second last. The trailer is the Purchase. The leader, Kitty Cleo. Kitty Cleo trying to catch some form of a mid-race breather. She goes to the half-mile point, on top by only a neck. Back ring. Buzz is alongside in second. Bohemian 3 wide now, forcing the issue into third. Estrella,
one
big
time
price has come away in a good spot fourth as they hit the turn. Up to the outside, On My Time is on the move. Trying to move in from the back is Le Sunshine as they round the far turn. Up front, Back ring. Buzz is now moved to a clear lead. That's all for Kitty Cleo. From the outside, it's On My Time. From between horses, Bohemian. Then back to Estrella, and from between, it's Le Sunshine. They're on their way home. Back ring. Buzz now straightens for home on top of 2. Far outside, On My Time. In between horses, Bohemian. There's less than an eighth of a mile to go. Back ring. Buzz leads by 2. Bohemian tries to gun her down right on the money. Back ring. Buzz wanders, but has a clear lead, and Back ring. Buzz will win it by a length of the end. Bohemian second. Third was On My Time, as well as
a decent race at a big price, so that's not the worst thing in the world.
We had some chances there for sure. The favorite.
We had a chance. You're saying I had a chance.
We had a chance. 5-7. That's what the EquinEdge picks were. And then the one horse is a horse we talked about that has the top GSR. There it is right there. So you still have to make the right betting decisions, and you have to get a little bit of racing luck. But we were right there. Right there. Yep. Good stuff. All right, you ready to get back to the qualifier, David?
Yes. So we're approaching race 7 is our next up in line. Race 7.
Yes, sir.
Is a mile, actually an 9 furlong turf race for maiden state breds, and they are. Let's see. Yep, for 50,000 maiden state breds. Okay. Again, this is the trend of the day. This, I felt, was some of these turf races are just, inscrutable to figure out. But I'm going to let me just pull up my pace metrics here.
So the 4 wins the race simulator pretty easily.
Right, Scotty, the race simulator is not on the screen.
Oh. Sorry.
Right, so the 4 wins the race simulator. That is Iron Max, first time off the claim for Brad Cox. Hold on a second. And if you look at Brad Cox, he's deadly off the claim. 43%, Scotty, with 49 out of a sample size of 49. That's just, that's tough to beat, right? Yeah. But comes out of it was claimed in the last for $50K. Pratt was aboard in the last 3 races. His horse had trouble bump start at the 2 before. Last one hit the gate at the start. Finished second as the favorite, and so this horse is going to be very difficult. But he tends to get off slow. And
look at this. So Brad Cox is 43% with first-time claims. If he would stop claiming off of Linda Rice, he'd be 65%.
Probably, yeah. They seem to have a claiming duel going on there, a claiming war. So it's interesting. So he's tough to beat. But again, that's a Scotty top pick. Obviously, this horse gets off to a clear start today, a good start. Probably going to be tough to beat. So I'm going to talk you out of using that horse if you'd like. But and then Make Your Moment has the top pace metric. It was racing for 40. This is a 6th start on the turf, and off a layoff, had come back and ran a decent race. Tired late, now also tired late, and held on a little better. Loses Pratt to Murat, and I just I can't see that horse. It's just with these starts, it doesn't have the winning profile. G5. Third off a layoff. It was dropped from a maiden special into a maiden 50, and G5 was a 44 SOR group last time out, and now faces a 38, so it's dropping further, or dropping at the same level, but facing a softer SOR group. And in essence, I was struggling to make a pick here, but I'm going to go with to Miguel Clement, all right, with Manny Franco aboard, Carmouche off. This horse did have the debut race off a step slow, racing a mile, so there's an excuse there. That's a conditioning race. Cantaros is one of my favorite turf sires, and I'm just looking at the GSR here, and the GSR is, we're going to sort that up here, is 59. I mean, that's not so bad. And that this could have been a conditioner, this race. And like I said, I'd always give a horse 1 race before making his best race for it. And getting off a step slow, that was a factor here. So I'm going to use the morning line 9-2, the 7 at Tortic. Ataturk. There you go. Attaboy.
Ataturk. All right. I'm taking the favorite. It looks very tough. Iron Max. Okay, we got BAQ 8, which is the 6th event. And
BAQ 8th.
We have the 2nd race in the feeder coming up soon. But let's run this real quickly. David, I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. We've got the 8th race here at the Big A. 7 furlong optional claimer for 3 and up. And we've got, I didn't pick up the 2 late scratches. I apologize. The 5 and Uncle Jim's out, and the 6 Train the Trainer. And I'll cut to the chase here with my pick. I'm on the top Scotty pick, and that's Sand Devil here, big time. Now, Sand Devil was on it basically after its first 3 races, especially winning on January 2nd by 12 lengths, was basically on the they thought the horses on the Triple Crown Trail, the Derby watch, but that didn't, this horse is to me a sprinter, and I always thought this horse was a sprinter. So stretching out to the Gotham, that was not a bad race at a mile, but then basically the Wood at a mile and an eighth, no deal there. This horse doesn't want to go that far. I mean, if you look at the Wood, that was a 76 SOR, but this is a 74 SOR today. But I just think that, what's that?
It's a tough field.
This is a good field, and it did. It's a real good race. You got some talented 3-year-old colts in here, but I know they were real. Linda Rice Barn was really high on the Sand Devil, and they thought, obviously trying to stretch out. And the Wood, this horse probably does not want to go that far. And if you look at the last race, Tip Top Thomas was an impressive race by that horse. Yeah. And Sand Devil got off slow that day and still rallied for second, and maybe with a better start, Sand Devil would have been able to win that race. So I'm not going to look too much further. I thought Matoli was interesting. Vekoma Rides. I mean, you've got Touchy could win this race. So to me, you've got 4 horses could win this race. But I was always early Sand Devil fan, and I think cutting back to that 7 is going to be the touch here. The thing today.
Yeah, I'm struggling between the 4 and the 8, the 2 favorites. I will say this: like last time out, going 8 furlongs, Sand Devil's supposed to win that race, but it broke last from the inside, and it clearly didn't. It had some trouble. You can throw out the races before that. The 9 furlongs. This horse, Sand Devil, wanted no part of 9 furlongs. It looks like, and then stumbled before that in the third. On March 1st. I mean, this horse looks like it's going to be very, very tough to beat. But the 8 horse Touchy, even though it draws outside, is going to sit a very nice trip. It was very wide at Pimlico last time out. That's not an easy place to be. That was a very good field. It's faced some tough fields for Wesley Ward. It's certainly it's not the best breaker in the world, though. It's not. Rosario's been aboard and hasn't been able to break through in the last 4 starts. Most of them at high win percentages. Yeah, I mean, these are some really good horses, aren't they?
Yeah. This is a competitive race. It would have been a lot better. This race would have been a lot more contentious if the 5 Uncle Jim, especially, and the 6 Train the Trainer, who was the real speedball here. Yeah. I just think it, and again, it doesn't take the luster because you have 4 solid 3-year-old colts with Touch is only 1 for 7, but I mean, my Matoli ran in Gotham, Wood, and a couple of thirds that, and he comes out of a Tip Top Thomas race. Vekoma Rides may be ready off the layoff, but I'd give Vekoma Rides a race off that layoff. So again, that's why I've landed solidly here on the 4 Sand Devil.
Okay, David. 4, and I'm also taking the 4.
Okay, Scotty and I are landing on the same horse, which could be a dangerous thing here, my friend.
All right, BAQ, we've got one more. We've got race number 9, but we've got race number 2 right now, which you have the 5, I have the 1 horse. I've got the favorite. Who's 1-5 right now, which is not exciting.
No, and I've got the 5, who is 29-1, which is exciting. If the horse runs, it's exciting. Doesn't run, it's not too exciting.
Talk about why you like this 34-1 shot. We talked about this. I tried to talk you off of it in my defense, but you weren't budging.
Well, here's the strategy, Scotty. When you have a horse who's coming out of 2 Grade 1 races and facing an optional $100,000 claimers here, just got such a such a class advantage. But it's a prep race, right? This is not the goal of this horse. I mean, it's probably going to run in the Whitney, I would assume. And so I think Brad Cox and the connections here, Godolphin, they just want a solid race, a solid comeback race. And yeah, is this horse likely going to just destroy this field and romp? Yeah, but the strategy is you don't want, if you're betting against a 1-4 in a feeder, you don't want the 9-2 shot. You probably don't want the 8-1 shot because you're not going to get enough of a place price. So if you're going to take a shot, why not with the 5? 5 is not a likely winner at all, but could the 5 plug up and grab second here, moving up? Like I said, I like Rudy Rodriguez and having confidence in moving horses up when they're in form.
Yeah.
And 30-1, yeah, I mean, horses, that's what's going to happen when you have a 1-4 favorite. But would it surprise me if the horse doesn't run step? No, but I think it's a risk reward thing. I think taking a very large price in a horse in a race where you have a 1-4 shot, I'll take a shot with that.
Yeah, they're out the gate. Yeah, the one looks awfully tough. The 6 is going to go though.
Oh yeah, oh absolutely. The 6 will go.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to give you my best play-by-play.
Okay.
One more horse to load. I'm curious to see the strategy on the 1 from the inside. We'll see what happens because the 6 is going. And let's see if the 1 goes and says, I'm classier than you. We'll see. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
No, Pratt grab.
Yeah, Pratt's, again, you don't want to get into a speed duel, Scotty. First
so
race
good.
back.
He went to the outside of the 6.
Mm-hmm.
That was really, really smart. Like he was able to, the 3 was right there, General Banker, but yeah, that was a really good move. You can see the 6 is a front runner. You can see the way it runs with its head up.
Mm-hmm.
And these horses clear, they can sometimes get very brave. We'll see. 6 right now, Reddington at 8-1 is in the lead, but being asked, whereas Pratt on Highland Falls, the 1-5 favorite, is literally in hand standing up on the horse. And 2 is struggling on the inside, Castle Chaos at 14-1. Here comes the 4, full screen.
Yeah, full screen I thought had a shot, but I don't want it at 4. Yep, not at 4-1.
Looks like the race is between these 3 horses, the 6, 4, and 5. The 5 is coming. The favorite
too
back on the outside of full screen who went off at 5-1. It's a 2-horse race, you guys. Highland Falls, the 1-5 favorite, has got the measure of the 4-horse though. And 4's not changing leads, not going to catch this 1. It's just now the 4 and the 6 are kind of dueling. The 6 is hanging in there, but I think the 1's probably going to inch in front of the 6. But it's very
likely.
Close.
Right. Yep.
Very close. 6 is really running a good race.
Yeah, ran a really good race.
And it looks like the 4 did get up.
Mm-hmm.
And so there we go. All right.
1-5.
All right, David. So we've got BAQ. What race do we have now?
BAQ. Are we up to? I believe we're up to the 8th.
Race 9.
Race 9 at BAQ. Yes, race 9. Another wide open head scratcher here. All right, okay. And we have so race 9, we've got a 6 furlong sprint maiden 50 on the outer turf for maidens 3 and up. And you've got a large field. You got 3 late scratches, the 5 Stanley Cat and the AEs, 12 and the 13. However, the 11 does draw in.
Yeah.
For Gina Antonucci. So, all right, this race I haven't really, in all honesty, I haven't looked at. So let's give it a shot. Battle Drum is the top Scotty pick and has a top win percentage. the pace metric, which I always sort first. You got honorary degree.
Yeah.
With a 71, make me was 69. So you do have between a 71, 69, 62, 61. You've got something that may be a rather contentious pace here. Honorary American. I don't know. I wouldn't know what to do with this.
Went to Ascot, now in for a tag.
Right.
Battle Dream is on the outside.
Yeah. It's a toss for me here. And so I just, if I'm looking at horses who are dropping, you got, well, Global Prosperity, let's go to because the 11 drew in and ends up being the Scotty long shot.
Yeah.
If you look, this horse did have some speed going a distance, right? And then dropped back and started after a 6 furlong sprint at Keeneland in the debut race. Has been racing it either at a mile or 8 or 8.5 furlongs, and then cut back to 5.5 last time out. But a global campaign winning at 6 furlongs, not for me. I'm looking at
it is dropping. I mean, to be fair, it's cutting back in distance. The GSR goes up a little bit, right?
46, correct, Scotty?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sold. I just think this horse is not going to have enough speed. Now, I did take a look at Volt off the layoff, and if I'm looking at Volt, we've got Mark Cassey. If a 16% first time back, he's a 15% overall trainer. I think that the horse has a shot. That maiden special weight company that he was in was 56 SOR, and now he's dumping down to a 46, much weaker group. So I thought Volt was a contender. And I mean, Aerate from the Rail off the claim.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not off that last race. I'm not really totally sold. You go to Battle Drum. This horse has had a lot of starts over Poli and dropped down from a maiden special, like you said, going down from dropped down to a 42 SOR for the first time and facing the same or the 46 group today. It's Rapoli and Pletcher. They're just trying to get rid of this horse out of the barn. With that being said, here we go. So I don't like the 3. I don't like the top Scotty pick. I don't like the 11. So it looks like it's long shot city for David. And I'm going to take a shot here with a horse who's out of Daredevil. He's got a 1% chance to win. And let me just see what the GSR is here. The GSR on is only a 46. Bless you.
Thank you.
But I have to tell you, in a race like this, I had a handicap who I respect. When he was playing horses that didn't look like had any shot.
Yeah.
He said, well, Dave, don't forget, bad horses win bad races. Yeah, this horse is a stretch. I agree. Terrible races. He was last in the first gate. He did show a little speed, and in both races, he collapsed.
Yeah.
He puts fronts on the last time, but then drops down. Let's see, the SOR. 54 to a 46 today. So I didn't know where to go. And you know me with the first time turf angle. I don't care how bad the dirt starts are. I prefer a better GSR. And actually Daredevil's out of More Than Ready, who is a good turf sire. But I didn't know where else to go here, Scotty. So I landed on a long shot here. Make me.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the 8 horse. I'm kind of chalky so far on this qualifier, but this horse had issues last time out. There was 9 other horses, and it was the first time going 6 furlongs on the turf. These horses often improve the second time out. Is facing similar company, and then the horses that are the competitors, like the 3 horse, the 11 horse, and stuff. I think they're going to duel pretty fast up front, and I just think it sets up for the 8 horse. And so I think this horse is primed and ready to run a really big race. So I'm going to go with the 8.
Okay, so Scotty, I'm locking you in on the 8, Battle Drum.
All right. Okay, so now we got to go to Gulfstream Park, race number 7.
All right, Gulfstream Park, race number 7.
And I'm going to urge us to hurry on this, David, because I'm going to have to get a new computer. I couldn't even do my coaching class yesterday. And what is happening?
Okay, sure.
What's happening is with my computer, for those that have seen this, is that it's heating up really bad once it's been on for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I don't know why. So maybe it's like 8 years old, 9 years old. I think it's just that time, and I have to replace it. So, which I'm going to do on Monday. So let's just try to push this a little bit faster.
Sure. Okay, so the are you in race 3? You're on race
3 Gulfstream.
Oh, I thought we're going to the.
Oh, is it race? Hold on. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was event number 3, so it's race 7. Excuse me.
Race 7. Yeah, race 7 at Gulfstream Park. We got a 5-furlong sprint on the Tapeta, and to make things easy, quite simple, I am just going to go with the top Scotty pick, the top win percentage, and the top pace metric. And let's see, besides that, top SOR, top GSR, top EE morning line. What else could you ask for? This horse just looks, I mean, it does tire late in some of the races, but based on all those numbers, and I'm just going to check the SOR here. So the SOR was 61, facing a similar group. There's not a lot in here, and I think this horse will take some pressure from the 1. But I think the advantage is the 1 will be up on the lead. The 2's got a little speed. The 1 will be there, but the 5 is just going to outgun these horses. And also the 5 has won off the pace too on February 9th.
Well, it's a horse to watch. It's top pace, top win, top SOR, top GSR, top.
Yep. So I don't see how you. Right. I don't see how you bet against this horse. Yep.
I don't see it. Okay. With you. 5. Wow. Well, here's the problem with something like this. If even one long shot wins, like every horse I'm using is one of the favorites. So even one long shot wins, you're out. Like,
right.
Correct. That's kind of the way it's kind of playing out. I'm not opposed to using long shots. It's just not working out that way in my handicapping. Gulfstream Park, race number 8.
Gulfstream Park, race number 8. We've got 6 furlongs, 25,000 non-wins at 2 lifetime. For fillies and mares 3 and up, 3 or 4. All right.
Well, big drop for the 3 horse, David. I'll start us off with the Kip the Distance, and you're strictly just going by the class drop because this horse just has not been running good, and it has been facing tougher competition. This is much easier. You can throw out the last race. It wasn't meant. The race before that, it wasn't meant, but it ran good. But last race, it got squeezed at the start, was wide. You can't do that going 5.5 on the synthetic, so you can throw that out. Then the 2 races ago against a 62 group at 4% to win, 48 to 1. The horse only lost by under 4 lengths. That's not a bad effort. So the 3 horse is certainly a horse that you want to give a long look to. It wins the race simulator pretty easily, and it's the only blue arrow, and it wins the race simulator. Here we go, but I'm going with the 3.
Yeah, Scotty, it's hard for me to go with a horse who's 1 for 15 lifetime. But if you look, the 3 comes out of a 62 SOR group. He dumps down to a 50 group. I mean, I don't really want to use this horse. Back to he tries the Tapeta last time out. Again, has been racing against much better company. And so I also took a look at the 4 Gervin Star, and and then again, I didn't know which way to go here to bet, if I should bet against his favorite or not. And then you look at it, you've got Gervin Star and Derby Time D should get into somewhat of a pace duel. And I'm not sure. Let me see what Derby Time D, what that SOR group was. as 42 and now 50. Yeah. I think at this point, I'm going to be on with you there, Scotty. I'm going to be on Keep the Distance.
Yeah. I mean, the other one that is interesting is the 5 Neblina, the EquinEdge second pick. I mean, this one has been trying in its races against better horses. But now it goes on the dirt, and it's been on the dirt twice, and it hasn't run very well. So, you know, this horse, I mean, it's been facing decent animals. I mean, it could run here. And if the 3's not up to it, you might not catch the 5. I think the 5 is a very fair horse for somebody to use, especially in this mythical format.
I agree.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, if you look, one for let blinkers off today. The issue is this horse. She's been, since her first start. I mean, strictly on either synthetic or turf. So we don't know how she's going to do on dirt. Let me see what the GSR is for Nebulina. Okay, GSR for Nebulina is a 50. So, I mean, it's not the high. It's, yeah. I mean, Lady Kazas, the 7 is going up in GSR 64. But again, I don't know, something about, I mean, she's got a shot here, the 7, right? Trained is over 16 though. There's a weak race. Let's see.
I mean, it was a 44 group. I mean, yeah, I mean, here's the thing. It just depends on whether the 3 runs or not. The 4 Gervin Star broke his maiden last time out, gate to wire, but that was an easier group. But this horse is going to feel a lot more pressure here. Neblina for me is the interesting one, honestly, because this horse has been facing better horses. Mm-hmm. This is a much easier group for sure. And when you run the race, let's see here in the stretch. Now the 5's already backing up.
Yeah.
Connections. Let's see. Blinkers are taken off in Neblina. Whenever I see changes, to me, they're not positive. Like you're making a change because you're unhappy with the way the horse is running.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it is the EquinEdge second pick. These are big decisions. Like even the 3 horses, 5-2 on the EE morning line. But you know what I do like? This horse has been trying within its races, and it really wasn't meant. Leno Reyes, I'm a fan of Leno Reyes. I'm going to go with
that.
Yeah. Okay. Gulfstream Park, race number 9.
Gulfstream Park, race number 9. Okay, race number 9.
We didn't see, because I had gotten rid of it because it was bogging down my computer, so that's why I didn't show you guys the race. But let me tell you the results of it.
Oh, the race?
That was
we're getting into this.
The feeder. Yeah, see, I can't even get it to pull up. It's like loading. So, can you give us the results of race number 3?
356. 356.
Okay, thank you, Wiz. Thank you, dude. 356. So, so we didn't have that. I had the 5 horse. Yeah. You had the 4 horse.
The 4, yeah.
And the 3 was the big favorite.
Yeah. Off the claim, right? Was that off the claim?
Yeah.
One off the claim. Yeah.
That was a tough race because so many of these horses were stretching out, right? And so that was a tough one. Yeah. Okay. So now we've got race number 9 at Gulfstream. Let's do that one.
All right. Race number 9 at Gulfstream Park. We've got another sprint. This is 5 furlongs on the turf. Optional claimer, state breds, Florida breds.
Why do I feel like we talked about this race already?
I think that you had another condition.
Seconds, right? I'm going with the 8. I know that.
Okay, you're already on the 8. Sticky McSnickens.
Yep.
Yeah, this is another top Scotty pick. We've got the highest 37% win percentage, and we just lost Scotty there for a minute. And yeah, there's a couple of other horses that I may have a little interest in here. I mean, the 5, Scotty's second pick, Pajaro, had won its first time out going at 5 furlongs and did something somewhat unusual for a first timer in a 5 furlong sprint, is come from flying off the pace to get the job done, and just by a nose. So at this point, I mean, it's stepping up. Pajaro had goes from a 52 SOR to a 54, so it's not that much of a step up from the maiden to this level, right? So it looks like that horse is a contender. And then if we go to the Scotty long shot, we've got Rock and Bolt, and Rock and Bolt has had 21 chances and is only 1 for 21. So usually not a horse that I can land on here. And I made a mistake of earlier in the feeder playing a horse who was 1 for 23 lifetime, and that didn't work out so well. Now he's another second place finish. And sneak previews and Arrogate broke his maiden last time for 35, and sneak preview in that race got a, let's see, sneak preview, that was a 48 SOR, and we now moving up to a 54 SOR. So moving up in pace. I'm sorry, moving up in class, in tougher company here. Well, actually, it's the same company. It's just a little bit of a higher SOR. And so, I mean, there's not a lot in this race. I know Scotty likes Snicky McShickens. I'm not, again, this horse has got speed, the outside post. I'm not sure exactly if I'm totally sold on him. I think what I'm going to land on here is a little bit of a price. I don't want a 5-2 morning line shot here in one of the later races in these qualifiers. And I thought the horse here who had a chance is the 4 Sneak Preview. I mean, you're looking at Sneak Preview, first time on turf today. And that's my angle for in races where you have some spotty form or horses that aren't proven. You got horses who had multiple starts. It just seems like this may be a spot this horse will take to turf. Now, Arrogate is normally not, I don't associate with turf breeding per se, but in a race like this, I think that I would give it a shot here at that price. And I'm just looking at what the GSR here would be. GSR for Sneak Preview is 60. He's kind of in the middle there. I'm sorry, 58 SOR for Sneak Preview. So give me Sneak Preview in the 9th race at Gulfstream Park. And just bear with me a second. I'll keep it going. I guess Scotty, we lost Scotty. I can't show you I don't have the ability to present. Let me just see here. So let me just see what the next contest race is. Okay, so we've got 7th and 8th at Monmouth, so I'll cover those quickly in Scotty's absence. So 7th race at Monmouth, I believe his laptop probably just died. Okay. All right, Scotty just texted me his laptop died. I'll just finish the last 2 races. All right, I'll finish the last 2 races real quick. All right, so we're going to the 7th race at Monmouth, and I won't be too long here because I did look at this horse. We've got, it seems like a contentious, but we won't be coming back, but I'm going to go through the last two. So we've got a contentious pace here. We've got 69, 65, and 63 Gold Trust, Jataros, Fade the Noise, and even Jungle Glow is going to add up to a little bit to that pace. So I'm looking for a closer here. And if you look at Confiscated may fit the bill here because with that pace up front, I think this horse might set a good trip. I mean, it comes out of a 60 SOR group after breaking its maiden, faces similar today, but does come off a long layoff. So let me see what Damasi is. Kathleen Damasi is 19% off a layoff, and she's an overall 12%, has a 12% win, 12 win percentage. I'm sorry, guys. And so I think I'll give a shot there with a little bit of a price. So give me Confiscated in the 7th race at Monmouth. All right, so the last race at Monmouth is the finale of the qualifier. And let me just take a look. I didn't look at this race yet. Oh, okay. Yeah, Stormy Matoli is the top Scotty pick that I want here. I mean, this horse is top pace metric, top win percentage, top EE morning line, and Scotty top pick. You just think that this horse is going to wire this field. You got the only issue is first race off the claim. Douglas Nunn, he's 0%, but he's only claimed 5 horses. So at this point, I think that Stormy Matoli is a likely wire-to-wire winner. And so that's who I'm on. So that'll wrap up the qualifier today for the NHC. And Scotty, like I said, his laptop died, so we'll catch him next week. Hopefully, I'm not sure. We're probably not doing a show because it is Independence Day, and then we have the racing festival at Saratoga, and I may be up there. We'll see. So thank you, everybody, and good luck in the qualifier today. And I hope we see some of you at the NHC. Have a good evening, afternoon, evening, and may the horse be with you guys. Thanks for joining in, everybody.